Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to sift through some really fascinating insights and bring you, well, clear, actionable wisdom.
That's the goal.
And today, we're diving headfirst into a source that's just brimming with practical guidance. It's called 90 Practical Keys to Career and Life Success, a guide for graduates and young professionals. The author is engineer Reuben Juma. And this isn't, just another self-help book. Think of it more like a personal mentor,
Right.
distilled right onto the pages. It gives you these timeless truths, insights you can actually put to work right now.
Yeah, actionable stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you're, say, a young professional or a graduate just figuring out those next big steps.
And what's really remarkable about this material, I think, is how Onunga manages to blend simplicity with some incredible depth.
Okay.
He takes these really profound principles but distills them into genuinely actionable keys. You can actually do something with them. It is. And, while the values are clearly rooted in faith, the overall vision is, I'd say, universally compelling. It's about equipping a generation to live purposefully,
Right.
lead courageously, serve faithfully. You really feel the authenticity, too. It's not just theory. It's clearly drawn from his own journey, his triumphs, his failures.
Real life.
Exactly. He even dedicates it to his family, his wife Millicent, his kids Kishan, Angelo, and Ariella. It just underscores that this is wisdom forged in, the crucible of real life.
Absolutely. That personal touch makes a difference. So just to give everyone a clear roadmap for our conversation today,
Okay.
we're going to pull out a selection of what seem like really foundational keys, mostly from the initial chapters.
Good starting point.
Yeah. These aren't just random tips. They're really designed to help you build that crucial winning mindset, strengthen your character, and lay a truly solid foundation for whatever journey you're on. So let's get started then. The author kicks things off with a section called Building a Winning Mindset and Lifestyle. And frankly, I think this is exactly where everything has to begin.
Couldn't agree more. The inner game first.
Right. Before you achieve anything external, you have to get your internal world sorted. So, his first point, simple but so powerful. Develop a winning mindset. It's really about understanding that success, it starts inside your head.
Yes.
It's this deliberate plan, he says, of faith, discipline, resilience, and vision. It's not just wishing. It's a deep conviction that it is possible.
And that reframing bit is key.
Exactly. Consistently reframing challenges, seeing them as opportunities instead of roadblocks.
That's right. And he's not just talking about, vague positive thinking here. It's a fundamental shift in perception. I mean, if you look at the story of Joseph from the Bible, it's just a profound illustration of this exact point.
How so?
Well, think about it. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison. Any one of those things could have, completely broken someone.
Easily.
Yet Joseph somehow maintained this mindset of faith, of excellence, and this really clear vision for his future. He refused to let his environment dictate his attitude. He actually excelled wherever he was placed, Potiphar's house, even prison. He turned every setback into a kind of stepping stone.
Wow.
His story just powerfully proves that your internal attitude, not your external circumstances, that's what ultimately determines your outcome.
That's a really powerful reframe, isn't it? So, okay, for you listening, how does this translate into, daily practice?
Yeah, the practical side.
Well, the author's advice is pretty direct. Start each day affirming your goals. Spend just a few moments reflecting on a positive future. Visualizing yourself, not just achieving success, but actually overcoming the obstacles you know are coming. It's about building those daily habits that reinforce that belief system.
Indeed. And it really prompts us to consider, doesn't it? What kind of future are you building today just with your thoughts?
That's a big question.
It is. And this concept, it's not just ancient wisdom. It echoes through modern psychology, too. Whether you look at, say, Romans 12.2 talking about being transformed by the renewing of your mind, or Napoleon Hill's classic insight.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe.
It can achieve. Exactly. The message is crystal clear. Your inner game fundamentally shapes your outer reality.
Okay, so moving from that internal blueprint, that mindset, let's talk about something incredibly tangible, our time.
Ah, yes, the great equalizer.
Right, because once you've got that winning mindset, what's the most precious resource you need to manage effectively? Time. This brings us straight to key number 3, manage your time purposefully. The author is very direct here. Time is life.
Yeah.
And how we manage it, or mismanage it, That directly impacts our ability to fulfill our purpose. He says high achievers, they treat time like gold.
They absolutely do. And what's really compelling here is how this isn't necessarily about working more hours.
Right, not just being busy.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, with much greater intention. He gives this example of Lydia, a young entrepreneur.
Okay.
She didn't just keep adding more tasks to her plate. Instead, she deliberately structured her days into these focused 90-minute work sessions.
90 minutes. Interesting.
Yeah, with strict breaks in between. She treated her calendar, apparently, with the same kind of precision a banker treats money.
Wow, that's a great analogy.
Isn't it? And the result? She wasn't just busy, she was incredibly productive. Doubled her output, doubled her income within a year.
Just from structuring her time.
Just from being truly intentional with her time.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, okay, how can our listeners apply that kind of focus? What's the actionable step?
Well, one really practical thing he suggests is planning tomorrow tonight.
Okay, I like that.
Before you wrap up your day, just write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. Then, and this is the crucial bit, allocate specific blocks of focused time for those important tasks.
And protect that time.
Exactly. Guard those blocks fiercely. Treat them like important meetings you wouldn't miss.
That really forces you to be proactive, not reactive.
It does. And it makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? How much of your really precious time is spent intentionally creating something versus just reactively responding to everything coming at you?
That's a sobering thought.
It is. And you hear echoes of this everywhere. From ancient wisdom, like in Ephesians, urging us to be making the most of every opportunity, to more modern insights like Benjamin Franklin's famous line,
Lost time is never found again.
Precisely. It truly is your most valuable, non-renewable currency. Use it wisely.
Okay, now for a key that I think many of us grapple with, I know I do sometimes, but the author insists it's absolutely foundational for any kind of lasting achievement.
Let me guess. Discipline.
You got it.
Yeah.
Key number 4, cultivate discipline over motivation.
Ah, the classic battle.
It really is. He points out that motivation, well, it's like a spark. It can definitely ignite you, get you started. But it's often fleeting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It comes and goes.
Whereas discipline, that's the steady flame. Relying only on that initial burst of excitement, that motivation, often leads to just giving up when things get tough or boring.
That's the core challenge right there. Motivation is a feeling. And feelings, well, they're notoriously unreliable guides for action.
So true.
Discipline, though, that's different. That's a choice. It's an action you take regardless of how you feel. He uses the example of John, an aspiring craftsman.
Okay.
There were countless mornings, apparently, where John woke up feeling completely uninspired, certainly not motivated to drag himself to his workshop.
We've all been there.
Absolutely. But he did it anyway. It was that consistent, disciplined effort, just showing up day after day, whether he felt like it or not, that eventually led him to master his skills and then ultimately build a thriving business.
So the feeling didn't matter as much as the commitment.
Exactly. He understood that commitment is steadfast even when inspiration takes a day off.
That's such a powerful lesson in just sheer consistency. So for you listening, what's a concrete way to start building that discipline muscle? Because it is like a muscle, right?
It really is. The author suggests something manageable. Choose just one area you want to improve in and commit to daily discipline in that one area for the next 30 days.
Just 30 days, one thing.
Right. And don't aim for perfection right away. Aim for consistency. Track your progress, even the tiny daily wins. Acknowledge them, celebrate them.
Yeah, those small wins build momentum.
They absolutely do. That commitment compounded daily, that's what truly transforms things over time.
It really makes you wonder then, what could just 1 month of solid, unwavering discipline unlock for you?
It's a powerful question. And there's profound wisdom behind it. You know, thinking about scriptures like 2 Timothy 1.7, that the Spirit gives us power, love, and self-discipline.
Right, it's seen as a gift almost.
It is. And then you have people like Jim Rohn, whose statement just cuts right to the chase. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment.
Wow, that says it all.
It really does. Without that bridge, even the most brilliant ideas, the most inspiring goals, they often just remain dreams, don't they?
Okay, so we've talked a lot about getting your internal world right mindset, discipline, time management. Hugely important.
Foundational.
But the author reminds us that who you are is just as crucial as what you do. So we're going to transition now into a section he calls strengthening character and integrity.
Excellent. Because the who drives the what.
Precisely. And we start with key number 11. Take responsibility for your life. This one sounds simple, but it's deep. The author says winners, they own their choices. They own their outcomes.
No blame game.
Exactly. They actively refuse to blame external factors, the economy, bad luck, other people. And the reason this is so important, he says, is because it's incredibly empowering.
How so?
Because it puts the power to change, the power to improve squarely back in your hands.
Absolutely. It's about radical ownership, isn't it? Taking full control of your response.
Radical ownership, I like that.
Think about the example he gives of Peter, who faced a pretty significant business failure.
Okay.
He could have easily pointed fingers everywhere the market was bad, his competitors were unfair, maybe even his team let him down.
The easy way out.
The very easy way out. But he didn't. Instead, he immediately shifted his focus inward. Asked himself tough questions. What did I miss here? What can I learn from this? How can I improve next time?
That takes courage.
It really does. But that proactive stance, it completely changed his trajectory. Within just 2 years, he hadn't just recovered. He'd built a stronger, much more resilient company.
Wow.
That shift from passive complaint to proactive creation, it's transformative.
That really is an inspiring example, turning that setback into a genuine springboard. So, okay, for you listening, what does this mean today?
Yeah, the application.
It means identifying maybe just one area today where you might be letting external factors call the shots or making excuses. Own it fully, without excuse, and then make a plan, however small that first step might be, to improve it. Take back the reins.
Indeed. That radical ownership fundamentally changes outcomes. And the principle, it's timeless. You hear it in verses like Galatians 6.5, emphasizing that each one should carry their own load.
Personal responsibility.
Exactly. Or in the wise words of the legendary coach John Wooden, you are responsible for how you perform no matter what environment you live in. It all comes down to personal agency, taking charge.
Okay, building on that theme of internal strength and responsibility, the author highlights a practice that sounds deceptively simple, but he argues it's profoundly impactful.
Let me guess, something positive.
You're good at this. Yes. Key number 12, practice gratitude daily.
A favorite of mine. So powerful.
It really is. He explains how gratitude isn't just, a nice feeling to have sometimes. It actively transforms your perspective.
How does he frame it?
He says it shifts you from a mindset of scarcity, of always wanting more, to one of abundance. It helps you actually see the blessings that are often hidden right there in plain sight.
It changes your focus.
Exactly. And that fosters resilience, peace, and even joy.
It really does. It's like a fundamental shift in perception that literally rewires your brain over time. He tells the story of Sarah, right, who decided to keep a simple gratitude journal.
Yes, I remember that one.
Every single night, she'd just list 3 things, could be tiny things, that she was genuinely thankful for that day.
Seems almost too small to make a difference.
That's what you'd think. But over months, this consistent, simple practice cultivated this deep sense of optimism in her. Real resilience, too. She found herself noticing opportunities where before she only saw obstacles.
Interesting.
Her relationships improved, her overall emotional well-being just flourished. All from that simple daily habit.
That is powerful proof, isn't it? How something so small can have such far-reaching effects. So for you, listening right now, the action step here is incredibly straightforward.
Dead simple.
Start a gratitude journal today. Or just use a note on your phone. Tonight, before you sleep, list 3 things you're thankful for. Doesn't matter how big or small, just make it a daily habit.
And as you start doing that, it really invites a deeper question, doesn't it? How would a consistent lifestyle of daily Thanksgiving start to uplift every single area of your life?
Yeah, how would that ripple out?
Exactly. And this isn't just, feel-good advice. It's echoed in timeless principles, like in 1 Thessalonians, urging us to give thanks in all circumstances.
Even the tough ones.
Especially the tough ones. It's a conscious choice, not just a reaction to good things happening. As Melody Beattie put it so insightfully, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It really does open your eyes.
Okay, so we've covered internal strength, personal responsibility, the power of gratitude. Now let's talk about the people around you.
The network effect.
Exactly. Because let's face it, no one truly succeeds entirely in isolation. This brings us to key number 20. Build a resilient network.
Very important.
The author uses that phrase, your network is your net worth, which, it really hits home.
Yeah.
Having strong, authentic relationships, they provide invaluable counsel, encouragement.
Opportunities, too.
Absolutely. They open doors to opportunities you might never even find on your own. They shape your perspectives.
It's so true. And it's really about intentional cultivation, isn't it? Not just passively collecting contacts on LinkedIn.
Right, quality over quantity.
Definitely. Think about the example of Sophia he gives. Apparently, she was naturally quite shy, but she made it a deliberate goal, just one new person each month in her professional field. That was her target.
Manageable.
Very manageable. She used local events, she volunteered, she leveraged online professional platforms, just consistent, intentional effort over time.
And what happened?
Well, slowly but surely, she built this incredibly powerful circle of connections, people who became mentors, collaborators, clients, and even lifelong friends.
Wow.
Her opportunities just multiplied exponentially, all because she understood the value of genuinely investing in relationships, not just taking from them.
That's such a practical blueprint for anyone looking to expand their influence or find support. So for our listeners, maybe make it a point this month.
A concrete action.
Yeah, reach out to 3 people. Could be new connections, could be strengthening existing ones, but be intentional about it.
How so?
Offer encouragement. Ask thoughtful questions about them. Genuinely seek ways you can add value to their lives or work. Don't just think about what you can get.
That giving mindset is key for networking.
Totally. And that whole discussion leads to a really crucial question for all of us to reflect on. Who do you need to intentionally surround yourself with right now? Who will elevate your thinking, your character, your opportunities?
It's a vital question. The ancient wisdom in Proverbs puts it so well. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Yeah, that's a classic.
And Jim Rohn's observation is just so spot on and maybe a little unnerving. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oof. That makes you think.
It really does. Choose your circle wisely, intentionally, because it profoundly shapes who you become.
Okay, finally, we arrive at a key that really delves into what truly lasts, what endures beyond, fleeting achievements or public perception.
The long game.
Exactly. Key number 25, focus on building character over reputation.
Ah, the core difference. This is fundamental.
It really is. The author makes this critical distinction. Reputation. That's just what other people think of you. It can be fickle, temporary.
Based on perception.
Right. But character. That's who you truly are, especially when no one is watching. And while, sure, a good reputation might open a few doors.
It can help initially.
Yeah. But it's your character, he argues, that determines if you stay in the room, if you grow, and if you ultimately make a lasting, meaningful impact.
It's absolutely the difference between appearance and authenticity.
Yeah.
And it's such a profound point. The story he uses, Daniel in Babylon, illustrates this just beautifully.
Tell us more.
Well, here's Daniel, in a foreign land under immense political and cultural pressure. But it was his unshakable character, his integrity, his unwavering faith, his commitment to principle that made him stand out.
Despite the risks.
Huge risks. Even when he was falsely accused, thrown into the lion's den, it was his character, his integrity, that ultimately protected him and, in fact, led to his promotion.
Wow.
It wasn't public opinion polls or temporary perception that shaped his destiny. It was his inherent moral strength, his character.
Built over time.
Exactly. The book rightly emphasizes that character is built in those quiet, everyday decisions, and then it's truly tested in the public moments under pressure.
That is such a powerful reminder that our true selves are really forged in private, aren't they? In those small choices.
Moment by moment.
So for you listening, here's a clear action step. Think about it. List maybe 3 character traits you genuinely want to strengthen this year. Integrity, courage, kindness, whatever they are for you.
Okay.
Then, each day, consciously focus on making small decisions, taking small actions that reflect those values. Just remember, character isn't built overnight. It's built moment by moment, decision by decision.
And this really prompts us all to reflect, doesn't it? Where are you investing more energy? In curating appearances, managing your reputation, or in cultivating authentic, lasting inner strength, your character?
That's the core question.
It is. And the wisdom from Proverbs, a good name which comes from character is more desirable than great riches, points right to the enduring value of integrity.
It lasts longer than money.
Absolutely. And John Wooden, again, with his profound wisdom, just crystallizes it perfectly. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. That's a truth that just stands the test of time, doesn't it?
Wow. Well, we have journeyed through just a handful, really, of the 90 practical keys today. We touched on cultivating that winning mindset, that fierce discipline.
Strengthening character, building connections.
Exactly. But the consistent message, threading through all of it, as engineer Reuben Juma so powerfully states it, is that success is not something you chase. It is something you build daily, faithfully, intentionally.
And that really is the truly empowering takeaway, isn't it? These aren't just abstract concepts to, debate intellectually.
Not at all.
They are actionable principles, rooted deeply in both timeless wisdom, spiritual truth perhaps, and also very real lived experience. The book really drives home that true transformation happens not when we simply know these things,
Right.
but when we actually embody them, when we turn that knowledge into consistent, purposeful action in our daily lives. It's so true. So for you, our listener, as we wrap up, here's maybe a final provocative thought to carry with you from this deep dive. The author concludes his work by saying, quite simply, your legacy begins now.
Powerful.
It really is. So the question for you is, what small, consistent action, maybe based on just one of these keys we've explored today, will you commit to starting today? How will you intentionally begin building the legacy you desire? Because remember, every single choice you make, no matter how small it seems, it echoes. It echoes into your future and into the lives of everyone you influence.
Indeed. May these truths we've discussed not just be admired from afar, but may they be deeply embodied. May they shape a life for you that truly reflects excellence, resilience, and grace.